Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this step-by-step DIY, we're going to be installing the JB4 on my 2016 Bmw M5 competition car, which has the S63 TU engine in it. It'll be running on map 1, even on 93 octane. It's going to add some nice power to it. It's going to add 4 to 5 more PSI than what I'm sitting here today. And at the very end of this video, we'll take it out for a drive, but not to worry, more point of view videos will come shortly after this DIY. I'm excited to get the JB4 on to add even more power to it than what it already has today. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this installed. First, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and pop the trunk and disconnect the negative battery terminal side. All right, pop the trunk there. All right, you're gonna pop this up. Then you're gonna go ahead and remove your tray completely. Then you're gonna remove these two 10mm bolts right here. And so you can either pull this out really quick. I'm just gonna bend it back just a little bit just to give me enough room on the negative terminal right here. All right, so the negative side is right here. $10mm, just loosen it and pull it off. I'm gonna tuck that on the side. One also important note, do not close your trunk during this. Keep it open. Sometimes what I usually do is put a thick microfiber over here, so if you do shut it, it won't latch and shut, but I am just going to keep it open. All right, then moving on over to airbox. Now to get it more out of the way, we're gonna take the lid off, which the Torx screws are T25. One here in the very back, a little hard to get to. One over in this back is pretty easy, and all the other ones are obviously right and visible, and can easily get to those. And by all means, use a magnetic wand. Definitely helps out a lot when you're trying to get to these ones, especially ones that are like way down in here. Moving this power steering hose that literally gets right in the way. And then use your little wand just to help you guide it out so you don't drop it down in there. Back T25 is in the worst spot known to man. Using a 1/4 inch swivel with yet another extension, and you literally have to fish it all the way down here just to get it to here. Now the previous owner looks like stripped the head just a little bit, so it's obviously taking me a little bit longer than normal to get it out, but I've gotten it out so far, and this is how you do it on the side. This is on the driver's side. Swivel all the way down to get it. The other side is fairly easy. Use the same swivel, but it doesn't take as much time. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and disconnect this sensor. So you're gonna push down here, and just pull out. I'll release that. Pull with a little pressure, use a flathead, and it'll pop right off. Stuff it in there just so you don't drop anything in there. whatsoever. We're gonna have a T30 right down in here, which holds the actual air box on. To start to lift the air box off, once you get your T30, that's right here. You have this little grommet looking thing. Just take your flathead screwdriver, kind of work underneath it, and pry up, and I'll pop it right out. See it? Popped it right off its spot there. Then you can slowly work on the air box and move it all the way out of the car. Now the reason why you're doing this is because you need to get to your T-mat, one of two, right there. If you opted for the JB4 Connect kit, which allows you to do Bluetooth data logging on your mobile device for your JB4, remove the JB4 from the enclosure. Comes with two little screws there in the pouch. Attach the JB4 Connect kit to the JB4 board. Be very careful when you're trying to attach this, just so you don't damage the JB4 board itself. Take the two supplied screws that came with it, so that way you can attach it to the board, and then carefully place everything back in the JB4 enclosure, and then button everything back up so that way it's a tight seal and it's enclosed correctly. All right, so once this side is removed, now note to self, once you're removing the actual air box itself, there's a little tab on it, just like sticks down right here. All you have to do is make sure and you push it forward just a little bit. It helps disconnect it from like the snorkel area, and then you can remove the entire box all the way out. Now on this side, it's the exact same process as before. The MAF, you just slide this forward and then push right here. Once you push right there, then you can remove the MAF sensor from that side. Go ahead and loosen your other intake box. Slide it over like such. You're then gonna take a T30. You have a big old T30 on the side of the box here. Once you have that out and you can start undoing it by hand. Take your magnetic wand and pull it out just so you don't drop the T30. You're gonna be using the magnetic wand a lot in here. It just helps out a lot to be able to get everything that you need. You're gonna take a flathead and carefully pop it off right from there. Make sure your hose is disconnected. Now to get the box out of the way, there's this little grommet right here. Take a flathead screwdriver. But before we proceed, your flathead right here. Release down. Push the tab in. This is the tab right here. Push that in, pull out at the same time, and then there pops that one. Now you got both of them out, and now we can get to this T-map on this side and the T-map over there to wire everything up for the JB4. Now we're ready to start to lay out the JB4. T-map right here, that's why we have to remove the air box out so you can get to that, because unfortunately there's no room to get to that. So you have to do this process to do so. Then there's the exact same T-map on the other side. Now the connections are a little bit different, so you have to look at the JB4, but I'm gonna show you the exact process of how to do so. This JB4 box is going to be up there. So we'll set that right here. Get that up there. Then this goes down to the firewall. This is your connection for your firewall. We'll get to that process after we get everything buttoned up here. Get that up there. Now in this video, we are not going to do the boost solenoid connections. Zip tie these up back over here. So we are not going to install those in this video. Rainbow side, so these are rainbow colors. So the rainbow colors here are going to be down on this T-map. And then the brown black wires right here are going to be all the way on this side. I'm going to run it along the front here. We will zip tie this just because the fan's right there. We disconnect. And all you have to do is push down on this T-map connector. Push down right here. Push down the little flap and pull out. Once it's out like that, this is what makes the JB4 easy to do, because you're gonna have two connectors here. One is gonna connect your existing connector. Put it like this way. It can only go one way, so make sure it's down like this till it clicks. Make sure it clicks. Then you're gonna take your other one. You're gonna do the same process, but now you're gonna plug it into your T-map on your car. Till it clicks. Wait for the click. Once that's clicked, we're good. Side is done with the T-map on. Now we're gonna go ahead and move over to that side. All right, your other T-map is right here. So you're gonna push down on this green little tab right here and then pop it off. Then you're gonna take your JB4, same process on this side, just like what you did over there. Connect this one like this. Then you're gonna take the other end. So this is connected there, make sure it clicks like I said. And then you're gonna take the side of the JB4, like so. And then you're going to make sure, push it on it, wait for that click. Hear that click, and you'll be good to go. Make sure those are all good in there, and you'll be fine. All right, once you have both T-maps good to go on the JB4, we now need to start securing it a little bit better. So we're gonna take some zip ties here. So there's this wire that runs right along the front, which is where you're gonna secure it to. All right, be sure to snip off the excess. Don't hit any hoses. Now that we have the front area tucked in, we'll finish the back here after that. Go ahead and reinstall both intakes now. Since all that is done, you can knock that out of the way. So it'll be the same process, just reinstalling it. Make sure you have everything hooked up as you saw me take it off. So next we need to remove this little tray right here on the back part of the engine. The JB4 is going to sit tucked down in there, and then we'll run it through the firewall so we can plug in the OBD2 port. So just need to start moving these little plastic pieces here. So you can use a trim tool or just a flathead screwdriver. Next, you want to move some of the weather stripping here. Just pull up on it, and then go ahead and pull this on out. Go ahead and take the JB4. We're going to move everything right here. And now we'll work on fishing it through the firewall. That's to gain access through the firewall. You're gonna have this little cover right here. And peel it all the way off. This is going to be your pass-through point. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the bottom panel down here, so that way we can run the JB4 OBD2 cable through and plug it to the OBD2 port. So it's going to be a T20. T20 off over here. It's all attached to the carpet. These 10mm bolts. Holes on the actual airbag piece. Now you're going to have the same thing on this side. That one will pop out. Just slowly. Once you pull your airbag down, that's right here in the front part, you're then going to pull right here. So it comes right into this part of the, underneath the dash. Once you pull and do so, you'll be able to look back in there. It's gonna be really hard, but it's gonna be right up here on the top. So I'm gonna attach some line to it so that way I can pull it on through. All right guys, here's what I did. A vacuum line hose line. Took some electrical tape and wrapped it around the cable I needed to take down through the firewall. This really helped, and actually it turned out really good. Just come into the car. There it is right there. And here it comes. Right here. So there's the other end. I'll take it off this, put my OBD2 on, and then button all this back up. All right, now that you have it ran, you'll see it right here. You're gonna take your supplied OBD2 port, which connects right to the JB4 box. Make sure you do the connection correctly. Going to connect that. This is going to sit up in here. Actually, all of this is pretty much going to sit up in here. Just do all the extra slack. Before you raise up the back section and attach it here, go ahead and attach your airbag already on there. So that one way, when you push it up, you're good to go. Now go ahead and fasten it all back up again, just like how I showed you. Then what you're gonna do is push in the excess slack in the OBD2, and then plug it in, just like that. When you have it all done, you see it just like that. Make sure your 10mm are tight and your T20s. I had one on here, which held that in, one right here, and one right there. I want to finish up and connect the negative terminal back onto the battery once your JB4 install is fully complete. Just reference the very first part of this video so that way you can see that, and then put back your little black tray that goes like that. Next, what we'll need to do is go ahead and tuck in the JB4. Sits perfectly right in this section down here. I got the Connect kit just obviously secured as such, so that way it's good to go. And then lastly, what you're gonna need to do is put your cowl piece back on. Then you're going to want to ground the JB4, which you'll connect it to the shock tower bolt. Remove that and slide the JB4 ground right underneath. All right, so you've completed your JB4 install on your S63 TU. Make sure all the connections are good. Everything else is bolted down. The intake's bolted down good. Battery's connected in the back. Just do a once thorough check over everything. And then once you're good with that, we'll go ahead and start it up. Now, I haven't started in a week, actually, from it just sitting here. So of course, now adding the tune on, I will let it just run for a little bit. When you take it out and drive it, let the car get acclimated to the tune. So I'm just gonna take it easy, just kind of build up boost, just, you know, let it get used to it. And then I'll slowly keep working up and, you know, adding more throttle. But other than that, looking forward to the fun ride and more videos to come on the JB4. I'll go more into depth as far as just the tune in general, driving impressions, of course, and also kind of the JB4 menus and stuff like that. So now let's go ahead and do a cold start with the JB4 on. All right guys, so I have the car fully warmed up with the JB4 on. Now, prior to this part that you're watching right here, I drove the car for a solid week just so you know, the M5 gets really used to the JB4 with added 4 to 5 PSI more over stock, and just for myself to get better used to it as well. With that being said, it's gonna be my first time really kind of truly fully getting on it. Overall normal driving, it just builds up boost really fast without even really getting on it that much. So let's go ahead, take the M5 out. Let's have some fun. So this is gonna be a little teaser of a video part. I'll be doing a point of view of this car with obviously the the tune on. That will come with the video after this one. I'll give you guys a little taste of it here now. Not to worry, more to come. I would like to hook up my draggy that I have so that way I can get some 0 to 60, better times and stuff like that, and we can have some real fun with M5. That's the next video, like I said. All right, let's go ahead and roll on out of here. Like I said, normal driving, this thing just accelerates that much better. I mean, I've been really pleased, even just on map 1, like I said, 4 to 5 PSI over stock, but just barely getting on it, it just instant boost, and it feels great. I mean, stock felt really nice as well, but with the JB4 on, it's a big night and day difference, and that's completely stock everywhere else, right? Everything else is stock on the car. I've always been very pleased with the JB4. I still have the JB4 on my 2008 335i. I've had that on there for probably about 6 years now. So it's treated me well, no issues, nothing like that. Highest horsepower M5, has the JB4 on it. So, can't go wrong with that. It's untraceable. versus a flash. So that makes it nice too. It doesn't have that actual footprint on your DME. So just something to think about, of course, depending on what you guys got going on. Completely plug and play, you know, do it yourself, no laptop required. You can get the Bluetooth kit, so that way you can change maps on the fly. You can change maps on the fly here on the steering wheel. Plenty of other different options. Get up to speed here. Awesome. I mean, it's just like, so the DCT is just amazing. I don't have to sell a DCT. I mean, the shifts are quick. So I have everything on Sport Plus all the way across, and the DCT on number 3, I guess to say. So the quickest shifts possible. Obviously using manual mode here at the paddles, or whichever my hand, I guess, goes. But so when I was driving around, I have the JB4 mobile app on my iPhone here, so that way I can, you know, see the boost gauge and see, you know, AFRs and, you know, fuel pump, you know, readings and stuff like that. You can hijack, you know, the fuel gauge on here to show you boost and stuff like that, but I mean, it doesn't take much, and when it builds, it just builds. Stock, this car is fast, but it's wow, it's really nice. But regardless, I mean, you can never go wrong with the tune on any kind of, you know, turbo powered BMW. Let's see where we're at with first gear roll. Oh, defaulted to second, so we'll do a second. Oh, that broke the tires loose at 60. Winter, brand new winter tires. Brand new. Probably 300 miles on those tires. Broke the tires loose. Oh my God. I still have traction control on. It cut off the power, of course, but I'm still getting really used to the car. Really used to the power, I guess to say, versus my 335 with just the torque and that, you know, right when you're shifting. So, wow. Right at 60, right when I shifted. So, awesome. Another tiny little second gear roll on. Again, 65 spins. Just a little bit. I guess what I need to do is try it when I put the Michelin Pilot Super Sports back on, which I'll do new Michelin Pilot Super Sports. And with it being really hot out, like, you know, 80, 90 degrees, where it can actually stick good. But I'm impressed. I'm, you know, I love, you know, when you do something to your car and it just puts a smile on your face. All right, guys, well, that concludes the JB4 install and little tiny drive video. Like I said, the next video after this video, a point of view drive, and we'll just stick to just driving. That's it. You won't really see or hear really much after that. So we'll just kind of stick it to that. I'll pull out my draggy, put that on there. We can get some actual, like, 0 to 60 times, see what it kind of does, and go from there. All right, guys, well, be sure to check out the JB4 down in the description box below, and everything else that I used in this install video here today. Big thumbs up on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know, check out my other M5 videos and also N54 335i videos. So that way, if you guys need to work on your car, you know, DIYs there, or even informational videos for that platform, which is obviously really important. Appreciate everybody's support, and I'll check with you guys on the next video of this car with the JB4. Take care and have a great weekend. See you guys.